All right, so it looks like we are live. We got live about an hour after I expected I get live, but we're here, and I suppose we could begin streaming. We have no live viewers right now, but a few always filter in, and I think most people will end up watching it after I'm done, so whatever. So we're going to do another 2 hours tonight. This time, I think the war will actually begin. I'm not sure if we'll finish it, but we'll try our best. And if we need to, we can do another stream next week to finish it up. So the situation right now, it is currently about 1 year and 3 months into the game. Not much happened last time. Oh, I just saw there was one viewer and then the viewer left. Anyway, not much happened last time, but well, we did do a thing. So these guys right here, they have a new leader because we staged a coup and then assisted them in a civil war, and now they have a government that's friendly to us. So, I'm trying to think. Okay, right here. They have a focus that allows them to ally with us. But I think we already beat them to the punch, and oh yeah, okay. We already beat them to the punch by doing our focus. That allows us to ally with them. So they are now in our faction, which is good because Chrysalis is about to. Okay, well, maybe not exactly, but she's about to. She's ready to invade Alania. She could do this at any time she wants. Hopefully, she'll waste time on shit like this before finally getting around to it. But the point is, Chrysalis is going to invade Alania very soon. Now, in a normal game, what would usually happen is that Chrysalis would just invade Alania and they wouldn't be able to resist, so she'd be able to conquer all of it. And then she would come after us. But this game gives us the option of doing a little regime change in Alania to make them our ally, or perhaps even a puppet of sorts. Yeah, they were basically a puppet now. Which means that we get to go to war with the Changelings a lot earlier. And Equestria is woefully unprepared for war. Woefully unprepared. We also have these things because we were trying to do the bat pony shit from earlier, but still. We're not prepared for war, but the great thing about starting the war early is that the Changelings aren't prepared either. I mean, they're prepared enough that they could steamroll Alania, but I don't think they could handle both of us at the same time because they have a very, very long front line. All of this, they have to manage to defend somehow. They might not have all of those soldiers on the border at once. I mean, they might have a couple of guys over here, but how many divisions do they have anyway? We don't have exact. Okay, they have 30. Alania's 24, but not all of them are on the border, and they kind of need to have people to protect the ports. And we have 50, but not all of our guys are on the border either. We have a large coastline that we're trying to protect. Crystal Empire has 9. They could potentially put everything in. Well, we shouldn't waste any more time. Well, there's also Stalingrad. Like, they've got a sizable army of unknown size. But they chose to elect this guy. And I mean, I suppose he could always try to attack us, but I think it's unlikely given who they decided to appoint as their leader. But we'll see. I mean, I don't want to ruin any surprises for people who are new to this game and don't exactly know how everything works. Well, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to stop talking and just start going now. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Music's on now. I think this ship is already in port. Okay, we'll combine these together. And these two are... One of those had to come from somewhere else. In fact, what if I just... I could do that. Oh no, maybe I can't anyway. I wonder if I could upgrade these, but I don't know if I have the facilities to. I don't think I need this many cruisers. And I was thinking earlier, as I was reviewing it, we should probably move some more airplanes into this area. Because Olania barely has an air force at all. The Changelings, how many planes do they have? Okay, they have a lot of planes. They might have more planes than we do. Wait a minute. Olania has no planes at all? I thought they started off with a small air force of their own, but maybe I'm wrong. Ships. Okay, I guess we have a bigger navy, but we don't have all of our fleets in that area either, so... Should I move this fleet over? It might be a good idea. I might as well have everybody trained since it doesn't look like... It doesn't look like we necessarily are going to fight anytime soon. So yeah, we should probably move a lot of guys over. Not everyone, though, because I don't want to be completely defenseless, but... And we should probably start spying on them. I like to not put spies in the capital cities because I always assume that's probably their counterintelligence would be the strongest. But cities far away from the front line like this, or this, would make really good points. In my opinion, at least. I'm not an expert at this game, but I've played it a little bit. And some strategies seem to work well for me. Purchase request. Could probably start upgrading in an intel agency too. But what should I do? Air Force Department, I think, would be good. Well, the passive defense I should probably do next. Well, I have this guy, so. And he's a really, really good spy because he has a bajillion traits, but I don't exactly want to risk him by sending him into enemy territory like this. So I'll just kind of keep him around as counterintelligence, and then if this guy gets captured, I'll send Con Main to go out and rescue him. And it would appear as though our dockyard has finished building. I thought about maybe upgrading some of these ships. Battle line ships. All right. 237. I don't think we have that time. So maybe we should... It would probably be better if we just built more destroyers, actually. Oh yeah, I think we researched better planes. Is there anything else we need to research before we finish? No, it might be good to just start building them. Wait. It's the early frame. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. We don't have any air experience. Yeah, that's the issue. Like, virtually every other country in both this mod and in every other mod, and even in the vanilla game, they can acquire military experience pretty easily. But Equestria is in a very tight position because, you know, it's a peaceful society. And that's kind of what the whole mod was designed around, is that the idea Equestria is a really peaceful society that hasn't seen a real war in a long time. So despite having a fairly large military on paper, they're also woefully unprepared. Oh yeah, another thing too, I forgot about this stuff. So they have the spirit's traditionalism, which doesn't really help because you're basically bringing a sword to a gunfight. War never changes. Wait, it does? Well, elsewhere, arms races between rival nations forced constant development and refinement of warfare. In Equestria, the military remained stagnant. Even as new innovations were made, Equestria was slow to adopt them, even seeing things such as rifles and artillery guns as unnecessary and excessively violent weapons. Without Princess Celestia's constant efforts to avoid falling behind too much, Equestrian Royal Guard would have continued to use spears as their primary weapon. Despite the recent push for modernizing the military, many ponies still prefer the old and reliable ways of combat. Yeah, but they're not exactly going to work. Unfamiliarity with tanks. How do I drive a tank with hooves? I'm not going to read all of that, but the sentence at the end says they find the concept of utilizing vehicles for military purposes to be foreign and strange. And then the last one, trenches are scary. What if some pony falls in and gets hurt? Trench warfare, perfected as a doctrine during the brutal Falkor War, which was all the way over here, allows a soldier with a shovel to form a strong point that is easy to defend. But in the minds of the Equestrians, warfare consists of rows of warriors in shining armor marching in disciplined ranks in the open field, wielding muskets or even spears. The idea of having to stand in a muddy trench and risk getting trench hoof is appalling to them. I mean, that's nice world building, but there's a really, really big problem with that. And I'm going to show you the really big problem with that. It'll take a minute to find, but don't worry, I'm looking at something on another screen. All right, I'm just gonna. There's an easier way to find it, I know. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh wait. Enjoy the music while I'm looking for something. Okay, maybe it was season 2. I don't exactly remember the names, so it'll take about like a minute or so. To find. No one's. I have no viewers right now, so. Well, I mean, it's a Friday. It's a Friday evening, so people are out doing things and actually having social lives. Or, well, I guess the ones who live in like other continents, like Europe, might be asleep because it's like 3 a.m. over there. But yeah, all right. I have finally found it. I have finally found a piece of important evidence that contradicts Equestria War's world building. See here, it says trenches are scary. It says the idea of having to stand in a muddy trench and risk getting trench hoof is appalling to them. I mean, okay, first of all, like, they say trench hoof, which basically means trenches aren't entirely a foreign concept to them if they have a terminology for trench hoof. But second, what I wanted to show you was this. Pinkie Pie and Applejack digging a hole. Season 2, episode 21. They're digging a big hole. And then... here you go. Okay, rarity being rarity as always. But I've just shown you evidence that... I mean, Equestria War does a lot of world building, but sometimes I question, like, are they really that close to what they're doing in the show? Because, well, you see what I just showed you, right? I mean, ponies know what trenches are. They know how to dig them. These ponies don't really seem... They know how camouflage works. They seem very... These ponies don't look like they're miserable sitting in a trench. And, of course, they're not fighting a war, but... I mean, they are cognizant that they're doing something almost as dangerous. So, yeah, anyway. We're just going to keep going. We have a new military-industrial organization trait. This time the shipyard has leveled up, so we get to pick a new perk. We can do submarine hunters or fleet escorts. They're both good ideas, and they're not mutually exclusive. We just have to pick one now and one later. But, you know, I think that submarine hunters might be a good idea just because we're going up against the Changelings. And just as the Changelings are very good at, well, being stealthy on land, they're also very good at being stealthy on sea. I mean, this mod gives them cruiser submarines, and I don't think any other country in the mod has that. So not only are they good at... well, yeah, they are good at sneaking around on land and sea. Maybe not necessarily in the sky, though. Day and night. Okay, so the more I need to do... Oh, we're training a couple of divisions. I could probably train a couple more, but I want to keep... Okay, Longsword finally finished its little civil war. No, wait, it's not over. It's just one of the 3 factions is gone. And, of course, it's these guys. The faction that is most likely to fall. Well, so now we're gonna get this. We're gonna get another pop-up like that, maybe in a couple more months once the other faction has fallen. Purchase request for it. If you needed artillery, I'd just give it to you. I mean, we're allies. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. That's it. We're both harmonic, which is basically just this mod stand-in for liberal democracy. from the base game. And so since we're peaceful countries, we can't declare war or do lend-lease or things like that until this meter right here gets higher, but it's not high enough. I think here it said world tension needs to be 10%. Okay, more events going on over here than... Okay. And no, the mod itself does not contain the NFL theme. That's another mod that I added. That's another mod that I added, and it is compatible with vanilla, so... I mean, I just used the NFL music mod because I thought it was funny. I mean, and it is, but it does kind of get bored. It gets somewhat frustrating after a while when you just constantly hear it over and over again. All right, what are they doing now? They're still on... It looks like they might go down this tree first, which, again, like, I don't mind. I'd rather they take their time because I am not ready yet. And maybe I'm a little bit more ready than they are, but neither of us are really ready for war, which... Neither of us are really ready for a big war, is what I'm trying to say. What if we could get more supplies here if we built a railroad? I could build another supply hub, but those actually kind of take a while to build. But it might be necessary. Like if we had something right here, that would help a lot. And it looks like my upgrade to the Intel Agency is complete. Maybe we can do interrogation techniques. I said I was going to do passive defense. No, wait. Invisible ink will increase the amount of intelligence we get out of infiltrated assets. We could appoint Bon to get another operative slot, but we are in negative political power because we spent it all trying to fix the Bat Pony problem. And now this dockyard gets upgraded. What next? Capital ships, cruisers. Let's do this. Okay. Look at them all dance. This isn't exactly the kind of music you want to dance to. There's another song that is actually much better for dancing, if I can find it. I think this is it. All right, let's go. Do 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 do. I don't think they dance faster if I move the time up, but all right. Well, we did Ministry of Defense. It says Luna became a field marshal. Is that true? Luna did become a field marshal. We get Warrior Princess, Pony, Charismatic, and Goddess of the Night. Okay, yeah, it does increase night attack. And she's very skilled. I mean, much better than our existing Field Marshal Blue Blood. And better on okay. Supply. Okay. I'm not sure which army we should put her on, though. Royal Guards, I guess. I mean, I don't want to demote Soren, but I don't know. Maybe we could just stick Luna on training. Well, I don't know. Let's just put Soren over here. Okay. Army reassignment duration. Let's just put, I don't know. Let's just put Luna on training until we can. Or should we? I don't know, actually. Let's just pretend that Luna pissed somebody off, and so he's getting kind of demoted to the training group so we can learn his lesson. I mean, that's kind of in character for Blue Blood, right? Because he'd probably say something that would be really offensive and then, or at least rub someone the wrong way. Okay, these two are trained. And I thought one of them I actually wanted to move over here. So that island would have some defenders. This island too, but I don't expect it to be attacked, and if it ever does get attacked, I guess these guys could liberate it for me. Oh yeah, we need to select the next focus. Changeling problem requires examine the situation. How did I get 100? Oh, political power from this. Okay. The next step to fixing the military is urgent war committee, but I think we require either a civil war, which we're not going to have in this game, or all of the following must be true. We're in a defensive war against a major country. Majors are basically just the great powers of the game, which the Changelings are considered one, so we have to either be we have to fight ourselves, which we're not going to do this time. We have to be fighting the Changelings. We have to have more than 20% surrender progress. So even if we're not in a war against, and it has to be a defensive war, or, so either one, we're fighting ourselves, which isn't going to happen this time. Two, we're being attacked by a major country, which in our case would be either these guys or these guys. These guys or these guys. Or the third condition, we have to have more than 20% surrender progress. So if a large coalition of minor countries just decided to invade us at the same time, then I guess maybe, but I think we're more likely. Well, okay, this one says a defensive war. I guess alternatively, if we decided to launch a war against, say, we declare war on the Changelings and Stalingrad at the same time. So in our case, it would be an offensive war, and then the war backfires and they take 20% of our territory. Then we could do it. Or, lastly, there's more than 50% war support, which we have 4% war support right now. Which, and I think war support will rise as world tension. Right. The whole point is, like, Equestria will gradually build war support continuously. Especially as, like, other countries around the world just start, like, invading shit. So over a long enough time period, we'd be able to get here. and I guess the goal for the Changelings is they want to attack us before we're ready to attack them. Yeah, anyway. So we might not be able to get Urgent War Committee until the Changelings invade us, or if they take a really, really, really long time to get around to doing that, we might be able to get through ourselves. Well, I guess there's the Changeling problem, which would slightly increase war. Anyway, I think the best... there's not much over here that's worth doing right now, at least. I think the best thing to do right now would be examine the situation. And then that would unlock all of this stuff over here. We could also do airfields, but I mean, we hardly have any planes. We have plenty of capacity in our existing ones right now. Examine the situation. With tensions growing abroad, organizing a commission to deliberate the efficiency of our foreign and internal policies and to propose improvements is of the utmost importance. Equestria cannot remain asleep against the approaching danger. We'll get enough political power to appoint an advisor in an event called the Dotted Line Report. But that will be in 56 days. So let's see what the Changelings do in 56 days. I wonder if they're just going to go through all of these. They might go through all of these before we're done, and then it will take 70 days for them to initiate the conquest of Melania, which... Oh, wow. Yeah, apparently they're... I mean, these are the focuses they'll do in order to actually invade Equestria. I think they have to do this. Yeah, lead the armies, declares war in Equestria and the Crystal Empire. So with this unlock, they could potentially go down here. But this would be the fastest way to start the war. And I would assume they'd probably go that way first. Because I don't think the AI necessarily is programmed to know the difference between... I think it's just going to go down the script it's programmed to follow. So they'll probably do... no, not us. So they'll probably do Conquest of Elenia before they do this. But I don't think the AI necessarily realizes that Elenia is allied with us, and maybe if it does, like, it just doesn't care. We have quite a bit of army experience. I think we got all of that just through training a bunch of divisions. Which you can gain small amounts of military experience through training. It just isn't really as much as you otherwise would have through combat or through advisors, which, speaking of advisors... Oh, okay. Okay, in addition to requiring... No, wait a minute. These guys require political power. Okay, yeah. And they require specific focuses on the Urgent War Committee tree. New High Command, new generals. Yeah. I'm hesitant to train new divisions because I want a reserve of pony power because... Are we? Yeah, I think we are kind of locked. We need more war support to be able to start conscripting people, which we don't really have. And so I don't want to run out of anyone when the war actually begins. Well, we finished the thingy. How's the cryptology going? We've decrypted about a third of their cipher, and it will take 637 days before we fully reveal it. Now, we can use upgrades to increase it. We don't have mass adoption of FM radio. That might be something we should work on soon. I want to do interrogation techniques. Maybe suicide pills would be useful. Localized training centers. I think that can help. Let's just do interrogation techniques for now. And this factory looks like it's almost finished. Yes, we will purchase it. We will allow you to purchase. And now everything we put on the market has been bought. We have a little bit of... you know what? I'll hold it and I'll lend lease it to them when we're done. We'll put some obsolete guns on the market. And we'll make it cheap to entice people to buy it. And surplus equipment. Yeah, I think we'll do all of that. How are we doing? Okay, it looks like we've almost finished filling our deficit of tanks. So we have that. We still need more planes, though. But we're building military factories, well, as fast as we can, but it might not be fast enough. I think we could also use infrastructure. Which helps with supply. So we should work on that as soon as we can. All right. So we got these two things. I suppose maybe it's possible we could decrease the rate of gun production, but I think when the war starts, we're going to need a bunch of factories ready to... I think it's usually best to just kind of keep the factory assignments of things at the beginning as they are. Unless you're kind of really in a tight spot and you're just desperate to get more factories. But we have some of the biggest industry in the world, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I said I was going to do mass adoption of FM radio. Well, this is a research bonus, but we're going to go after this first, I think. Well, it's been 40 minutes and we still haven't really done any. I'll try to make this quick. These guys could begin training. These guys are fully trained. Okay. What is this? Okay. I think they could start. They could go out and train a bit. I should probably assign legions for these guys. And I'll have these guys start training as... Does this really only have, like... I'll merge them, because I don't know why there's so few, but... Naval bomb... Oh, shit. I don't think we're building any naval bombers, are we? Naval bomber carrier. Oh, we are, okay, but we have a shortage of them. Still... I think it would be useful if we were training some. Okay, the music stopped. Sometimes it kind of glitches out like that. Wait, you've only been out for a few days and you're already damaged? It's not that bad. Keep going. Oh, these guys haven't been trained either. All right, I'm going to send them out to go train. And then there's this thing. Earth Pony Alchemy could be useful, but we don't have any hospitals up and running yet. We're already doing artillery. Hold on. Industry might be useful. We have a lot of things that we kind of need to build. Like roads and factories. The dotted line report. We need more ominous music. A disturbing report has recently landed on the desk of Princess Celestia. Commissioned by the small bureaucracy, it has painted a grim picture of what would happen. Were Equestria to find herself attacked by any enemies from beyond her borders. Where hives start. The first part of the report focuses on Stalingrad. While they have not been particularly keen on jumping across the border, whatever the rhetoric coming out of the Palace of Soviets says, were it to happen, the Royal Guard, with its less than 10,000 soldiers in the area... How many soldiers do I have in the area? This guy is... 4,000. Another 4,000, another 4... We have 12,000 soldiers on the border, which, I mean, it's close enough. Another 4,000 here, but they can't really leave the island. Or at least they shouldn't. Anyway, I mean, this is just pre-written event text. With its less than 10,000 soldiers in the area, it would find itself wiped away by the Red Army, which, the report reckons, would get as far as Albion. This is Albion. And Transylvania. Where is Transylvania? Oh, yeah, here. And Transylvania. Before moving on to threaten Manhattan. Speaking of the Royal Guard, the report condemns the large cuts made to the Royal Guard over the years, blaming them for the near defeat at Canterlot, using very unparliamentary language to characterize the state of the Guard, recommending an immediate 5-fold increase in budget. Lastly, there's the biggest and grimmest part of the report, the Changelings. Information is, of course, rare about them, and as such, the report makes it clear it's working off hearsay. But this is the most damning part of it all. The report states that if a full changeling invasion was to occur, Equestria would surely fall within 2 years of such an invasion, unless radical and controversial measures were taken, including overhauling the whole state to mobilize all resources. In addition to military matters, the report warns about a lack of innovation and economic development in recent years, which has allowed other nations, such as the Changeling lands, to catch up. It proposes large-scale industrial projects and education reforms to maintain Equestria's position as the most developed country in the world. And we can actually track development here. They have a bunch of little info things that were added by scientific development. Here we go. Well, I mean, we're actually on par with the Changelings. But yeah. It proposed, okay, blah, blah, blah. Despite the dire warnings made in the report regarding the risk of invasion, only the industrial and scientific parts of the report have been publicly stated to be put into effect. In private, however, Princess Celestia knows something must be done. This is a wake-up call. Indeed, it is very much a wake-up call. There's the okay, now we have a few more options for what to do. There's the Changeling problem. We could do School for Gifted Unicorns, Manhattan Steel Factories, Star Energy for Rambling Rock Ridge, add one supply hub in a province in the state. That must have been something new they added. I didn't know they did that. Wait, where is Rambling Rock Ridge? I thought it was here. Or is it here? Wait. Okay, I guess it's here. There's also Crystal Empire shit. Do they still have Sombra Scare? I think they do. I don't know. I mean, we're about to go to war with the Changelings, but I also want to help the Crystal Empire because they barely have anything. But border fortification plan is tempting. Then again, it says they have to cause at least 5% of world tension. And we have to be at peace with them. So if they go to war with us, well, the Changeling problem gives us a huge lump sum of political power, which could be very useful. And it increases war support, so why not? Let's go ahead and do Changeling problem. Queen Chrysalis and the Changeling army have long been a thorn in our side. They have attacked us once, and they will surely do so again. We must be prepared. We have several options to implement before an actual war breaks out, which is mostly just building walls, and then building walls in different locations. We could do more railroads, although I'm not sure how much these would help because they're all on the East Coast. We could ban communism, which isn't that much of a threat. We could appoint Twilight Sparkle as the element of magic. 200 political power just for Bon Bon. But she reduces agency upgrade time, so I guess that's something that... That is a bonus, I think. We'll do local training centers. It might actually be useful if we just started building forts in some of the important border locations. Oh, look. Dark is here. Hello, my king. How's it going? It's going pretty well. It's going well because Chrysalis hasn't attacked us yet, which gives us a little bit of time to prepare. And so I'm going to build a bajillion forts. Lol. Yes. Wait. Maybe I should prioritize the forts first. The roads can wait, I think. Though it would be nice to have a couple of... Never mind. Transport planes are useful, but they're not a huge priority right now. What is Bug Queen even doing? She's going to wait a whole season of not to her to make a move. Well, I know exactly what she's doing right now, because I have a spy right here, and he tells me that she's working on this tree right now. So she's trying to make her army better. And I think it usually takes about 2 years for Chrysalis to actually start wars anyway, so yeah, she's working on making the army better. Because even though we're not prepared for war, she's not really prepared for war at the beginning either. Okay, we fixed the thestral economy thing, so... Oh. The Grand Equestria Pony Summit. Her Majesty Princess Celestia has once more decided to convene the Grand Equestria Pony Summit, summoning delegates from every city in the country to Canterlot. She was encouraged to hold the event by Princess Luna, so various disputes could be resolved before they reach a boiling point. Princess Twilight Sparkle was once again responsible for organizing the event, even though it was a disaster last time she did it. The last summit, held in 1005, had almost... Oh yeah, that's another aspect about this world. They date years from Luna's banishment, so it's like 1,000. So it's like 8 years since season 1, according to this calendar here. This time there would be no giant gemstone statue due to last summit's incident. The summit ended up being almost as large as the last one, with delegates from over 50 cities and towns arriving in the capital, where there were 3 days of conferences, receptions, and meetings, with the princesses attending them actively. Representatives spoke openly of issues in their hometowns. Mayor Ash Mustache, delegate from Baltimore, spoke of issues with integrating the local thestral minority and the rising influence of anarcho-syndicalist Cantor. Mayor Goldwyn's, delegate from Vancouver, said something had to be done about Stalingradian infiltration of the Navy stationed in the city. Mayor Rokenhar's, delegate from Las Pegasus, spoke of the corruption and greed of the local companies, while representatives of other southwestern cities complained of neglect from the central government. All of those things that were just mentioned, they kind of come into... They're kind of funny if, like, you know what happens in the Civil War. But I'm not going to talk about that right now because it's a long story, and we have a war to get to. Most ominously, the delegates from Equestria warned of the ever-growing changeling military activity on the border. The princesses took up all the issues and promised that they would be taken care of. The rest of the summit was spent making trade deals, celebrating cultures of Equestria, numerous cities, holding speeches on matters of economy and politics, and discussing the events of the world at large. At the end of the event, Princess Celestia held a speech thanking every pony for coming all the way to Canterlot, and said that as long as the cities of Equestria worked together in harmony, the country as a whole would have a bright and prosperous future. A toast to Equestria. And we gain more stability and political power from that, which is nice. I think we're doing good on resources. Well, except for aluminum, but you know what? I think we should just do this one. We need more aluminum. Oh, look, New Maryland is asking for artillery. I will accept. I will sell them. Marines might actually be useful because that would allow us... What are you going to do with that stuff? With what stuff? With what stuff? I think we're done training here. And there's here as well. Oh, wait, did you think I was buying artillery from New Maryland? No, I was selling artillery to New Maryland. They were requesting that I... Oh, aluminum. Okay. Aluminum is needed to build airplanes. That's the main use for it. And, I mean, I have a balance of 0 aluminum. So I'm building 26 aluminum. The economy law that I have of export focus requires that half of the aluminum has to be sold. And then the remaining 13 aluminum, all of it is being used to build stuff. So I'm working on getting more production facilities set up so that I can have more aluminum, because I'll probably be building more planes in the future as soon as I get the factories to do that. Now that we have 2 spies, I think we're able to start infiltrating. No longer get effects from calming ponies. So the last bat pony thing will end in August, which is nice. And then we won't have to worry about it ever again for the rest of the game. The Grand Galloping Gala happened again. I think it happens every July. Now, oh, okay. A few more divisions have been built. What am I going to do with them? I think I'll move at least 2 of them over here. And maybe 2 more of them over here. Rainbow Factory. You know, yeah, they actually included a little Rainbow Factory reference. So I have the Rainbow Factory working for me right now. They just boost the research speed, but... Alright, Changeling problem has... Oh, wait, I actually have army experience now, which means... How many divisions do I have? 10 of these, okay. Used as a garrison template for occupied territories. I shouldn't be using it as... I should be using these guys. I think it's more efficient. Although I could probably just create a dedicated occupation garrison template, which... we'll use the fist icon for suppressing dissent. There we go. And now I'll go back here. I mean, if you create dedicated divisions for occupation like that, Because whenever you capture territory that you don't otherwise, that isn't considered a core territory, you have to spend some of your pony power and equipment on just sending soldiers to keep order there so that they don't revolt. And if you design dedicated templates for occupation, then you can do it more efficiently, and so you spend less pony power and equipment on doing that. So I'm going to It's usually a good idea in this game to, instead of just editing templates directly, to always duplicate templates and then make new ones so that you don't lose the ones you originally had. Because otherwise, if you make a mistake with something or you want to revert them back, then it would take more points. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add. Originally, it just had like 7 infantry and then an engineer company. That was what was originally there. I'm going to add a recon detachment because that increases defense and reconnaissance, which are important. And I'm also going to add an artillery battalion because that's very useful with both defending and attacking. And also, whenever I create new templates, I like to change the division icons because just to make it easier to find them and to know which divisions have been upgraded and which ones haven't. So I think we have enough equipment that we don't really have to worry about running out of it when we upgrade. But we're just going to go through and upgrade as many of these as we can. There's also all of these, which we'll upgrade as well. And we also have to select a new national focus. Common enemy. Oh, this will increase war support by 5%, which might actually be useful. The focus is fun, too. Queen Chrysalis is a scheming villain with every intent of conquering everything that stands in her path. We know this, and we shall make sure that the other nations of Equus know this as well. And so that will increase war support for us, and it will also make all the other countries like us more. Apparently the Kirin are busy fighting each other right now. Or at least I thought they were. Maybe they just finished. I mean, the Kirin have a bunch of, like, weird shit that's not canon. They are not wrong, she wanting that love. She very much does. And we're going to give her all the love that she wants very soon. As soon as she stops building hive trains. But that's okay. I mean, she can build as many hive trains as she wants. We're not fully prepared either, but it'll come soon, don't worry. In the meantime, we finally have a surplus of political power that we can spend again, so okay, we don't have that. We can't do that. Maybe we could put Twilight Sparkle to give us slight bonuses on things. Yeah, we're going to put Twilight Sparkle as an advisor. These guys are done, although... Oh, okay. I thought the Killens were fighting each other. I mean, the Killens are fighting each other. These guys are all Killen, but they're not like these Killen. But we don't really care about wars on other continents. We care about what's going to happen over here. I need to check the template for the tanks again, because sometimes they don't always have the best designs. Okay. I'm going to say Royal Armor 2. That little war is a bit interesting, but yeah, you're right. Yes. Okay. I'm going to give them an engineer company, and it's usually a good idea to add maintenance companies too, but it looks like we don't have enough points for that. But having an engineer company, I think, is important. And we're just going to give the order to upgrade them both, because we only have 2 tank divisions right now. And I don't think we have enough tanks to build a third. That little bit, yeah, that little war, the war between these guys. Well, the thing about these 3 countries is I don't think either of them really have content yet, because this entire continent was added relatively recently, and so they're working gradually, bit by bit, to try to flesh everything out. Because I think the Kieran over here only got their new content about like a couple of months ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but like the load, right? But the menu screen that they have is still the menu screen that they had for the Kieran update. So I mean, Equestria and its neighbors were the first countries that were added in the game. And it does kind of show, because compared to a lot of the other countries they have in the game, there's a relative lack of content. For example, Equestria's focus tree here. I mean, it's about the size of like major countries in Vanilla Hoi 4, such as like the United Kingdom and the United States and Germany. But then you look over here at this continent, and you just pick a random country like this. And they have like all of this for just a random country that nobody cares about. I mean, Equestria War is kind of subject to... It's kind of fallen victim to feature creep, in my opinion, because the developers keep going around adding more and more and more stuff just to show off how good they've gotten at programming. But the project to try to get Equestria to have to add more content to it has kind of slowed down. And I recently heard that the guy who had been assigned, or rather the guy who volunteered to rework Equestria, has parted ways with the dev team. I mean, neither of them will specifically say what happened, but I'm not really sure what exactly their plans are with Equestria going forward. I think they'll give it more content eventually, but it might take time. But anyway, enough about the future plans, and we'll continue doing what's already here. Earlier, I couldn't really decide what exactly I should do here. This is what we want, but we have 4 conditions that we haven't fulfilled yet. And it might take until the changelings attack us to be able to get urgent war committee. But there's other things we could do over here. Star energy is tempting because it builds more factories, and it also clears the way for the Spitfire research. School for Gifted Unicorns gives a research bonus, and that's usually a good idea to get research bonuses as soon as possible. But I also want to kind of strengthen the Crystal Empire because, well, they are our allies. And if I can get Sombra Scale removed as soon as possible, that would be a good thing for us. Maybe I'll just go ahead and increase presence in the Crystal Empire, because the Crystal Ponies in the royal family are our most loyal allies, and it would be best to keep it that way. Princess Cadence and Shining Armor could use a helping hoof with administration as well. So that will give us more political power and will actually reduce their autonomy score, which I guess if we're their overlord, it would be a good idea to do. I don't think they show it here, but or do they? Oh, they show it over here. Common. Oh, no, not. Okay. Anyway, let's see what Chrysalis is up to. Okay, she's still doing this shit. I don't know exactly how much more she'll do, but... Okay, another war that we don't really care about. Oh, that's a lot of ships that we just built and haven't bothered signing yet. Wait, what did I just do? Oh no. Wait. What did I do with this? Shit, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep this guy in reserve. And I wanted these guys to come over. Lunar Ocean Fleet. Which means I want them over here. That submarine's a bit damaged. Let's bring them all into port so they can heal. I can keep going. All right. Oh, okay, I see. Because they're our subject, not just any subject, but an integrated puppet, I think they're kind of supposed to periodically give us units that we can control, which is good. Let's move them over here where they'd be useful. And it looks like their training has gone down a bit, because what happened was that when we upgraded these divisions, more people came in, and since those people weren't trained as much as the ones who were already there, it lowered the average amount of training. So they need more training. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we don't have the command power to do this. This is really useful if you're to help with expediting the training, but since our war support is so low, we generate command power very slowly. So we're just going to have to train it without that. Oh yeah, on the medal system. I mean, normally whenever you fight wars, and we did fight a very short war when we intervened in Alania, your units get experience, and if they get enough experience, you can give them medals. But medals cost political power, so we haven't been able to do this until now. So here it says in their command history, they seize the airfields in Mute Flow, which is like here. I didn't know there were airfields in Mute Flow. Well, anyway, apparently they took something. And then later they took part in the Siege of Seattle. And for that, we get to grant them a citation. We can give them the Pink Heart of Courage, the Distinguished Service Medal, the Order of Friendship with Military Ribbon, or the Sun and Moon Medal with a blue sash. I think I'll give them the Pink Heart of Courage. And it costs only 30 points. I don't think we have anyone else who earned medals yet. Obviously, you earn medals by capturing stuff. Pick 4. Oh, too late. I already picked the first one. These guys, I think they're... I'll put them in training. I don't know what happened to them, but they're not as well trained as the others in their unit. Oh, and we have free dockyards, too. Something very important that I kind of wanted to get going, but haven't been able to get around to until now, is that we don't have any mine layers. Oh, we only have so much points to spend, but all right, I think we can do this. Lol, that a movie reference. I didn't intend to make any movie references, so I guess I made one accidentally. The 4-bit. Oh. Pick 4. Okay. Design is too expensive. Alright, well, we'll get rid of the torpedoes and just do this. It looks like we have another customer for our artillery. Artillery is very popular, I guess. And we have plenty of it. Okay, I think the submarines have arrived. We'll set them to train. And then we'll send more of them over here. Unknown focus. Well, shit. I mean, we had enough intelligence earlier to know exactly what they were planning. Now it says unknown. Well, I guess it does tell us what they've already done. I guess. Now, infiltrating civilian administration is a good way to gain intelligence that can help you. Because the way it works is that if you have a certain amount of civilian intel, it will tell you what they're currently working on. So we have to get this on up to 70%. So the mission that our spies are working on right now, and it's going to finish in November. That's going to tell us exactly what they're doing, or at least it will get us closer to that. Black and White Storm declared war on the Confederation of the Polar Bears. I mean, it's kind of a silly suicidal war between two weak countries that the guys who start it usually lose. Chrysalis could invade the Polar Bears, but I'm not sure if she's going to do that. Some people say that it's kind of a waste of time for the Changelings to do that, but it is kind of an option for them to do. Right, we've done the radio thing. It might be used. Wait a minute. We're building a bunch of stuff, so raise this barn could actually be very useful for us. We're building those forts pretty quickly. What to do now? Mage Company might be useful, but I usually don't get around to actually finishing them. Using them until the late game. I could research these, but I don't like researching technologies if there's an ahead of time penalty. So I'm going to wait a year until I do that. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do Mage Company now. So it will be available when I'm finally ready to use it. I'm also wondering who should I assign as my third advisor. I'm tempted to go with Coco, but Flim and Flam will help build factories faster. I mean, they both build factories with different kinds of starlight. Oh, I don't think I have starlight available. Oh, speaking of starlight, apparently our town has just decided it's going to merge with Stalingrad. So it no longer exists. I mean, she wasn't the leader of it at the beginning of the game, but I don't think there's a way I can get starlight. Well, I think these are done training. Okay, she's still building random shit. I guess the brothers would be a good something. The Gooders, okay. I can't see it because on my screen there's like a button that's right in front of some of the text. Then I guess the brothers would be good, but and then good, but oh, okay. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So right here, like right here in the corner of this screen, there's this little heart button. And when I hover over it, it just adds a list of emojis I can use. And that was blocking the second half of the text, the second half of the comment. But then your next comment bumped it up so I could actually see it. I guess the bother, I assume that means brothers, would be good, but That's what I was thinking too. I mean, I think I would rather put Inkwell or Coco because they're cute mirrors, but Filthy Rich isn't really useful unless I'm going to do a lot of trade, which I don't need to. Speaking of trade, I suppose it would be useful to import a little bit of oil. I think I'm going to have to go with the brothers because we want to build a bunch of military factories quickly, and they'll help us do that. We'll do Crystal Fair. The Crystal Fair is an ancient tradition of the Crystal Ponies. It would be a great honor for us to organize this year's celebration. It will be a sight to see the history of the Crystal Ponies celebrated. Make sure the USA don't hear that, lol. Yeah. Socialist Union. Today, Vasily Wheaton and the Supreme Soviet announced they are creating an international organization, Socialist Union. They are going to seek support of communist nations all across the world for mutual support, protection, and cooperation. some of the text in this game is in broken English, but yeah. Okay, so they did this. I guess they could go either way here. They could help us or hurt us. But it looks like they don't have a big enough army to do this yet. But I don't think we'll have to worry about them for now. Changelings are a more important thing, more important threat. I'm going to build more mine layers. So you can only train the planes on the carriers when the carriers are out at sea. So I'm going to take the ship back. Wait a minute. Sometimes with planes, it will show, like, they'll get trained, but it won't change the icon that shows. So okay. I mean, these two are regular, but they're showing the level 1 training icon, which is a bug, but you got a strong country. I do. I mean, Equestria is one of the strongest countries in the game. They just have a bunch of limitations they have to work through before they can achieve their full power. And especially in Equestria War, where unlike vanilla Hoi 4, where the entire world is in the 1920s, like some of the countries in this mod are I'm trying to find it here. Society. Like some of the countries in this mod are basically stuck in the medieval ages. Like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. These guys are even further behind. And then there's this continent, which lags behind everyone else, except for, like, these guys. But we like hippogriffs, and hippogriffs like us. We even have a non-aggression pact. I mean, look at the literacy rates. Like, just look at them. Look at them. Like, half the people in this country don't know how to read. And they're supposed to be, like, one of the most advanced countries in the world. And then we have none of that. Wait. Now I can go here. Developed science base, modern society, negligible illiteracy, negligible poverty, and pony race. I mean, we have the best of all of these. Oh, this has been completed. Okay. But I guess I don't have enough intelligence yet. But it is kind of difficult because the changelings are much better than most nations at intelligence stuff. And I assume that applies to counterintelligence as well. I guess we could try... radio interception group. I think that should help us decrypt those ciphers faster, because otherwise it will take more than a year. Speaking of year, I think I'll save the game since it's been almost a year of gameplay. I'm sorry if it's been like almost 2 hours and we still haven't actually started the war yet, but it would appear as though we have 2 viewers with nothing better to do than to just watch a war that doesn't come. I mean, Chrysalis would always be plotting. Yeah. I mean, she's plotting all right. One of the useful things about this game is that even if you don't know exactly what other countries are doing right now, if you have familiarity with what their focus trees are like, you can tell some of the stuff based on the national spirits they have. You can tell what they've already researched. So she's done this, which means we know that she's finished this. And so sometimes that can be very helpful. Very low supplies. Okay. I've been meaning to try to do better over here a bit. These are all level 1 railroads, which limit the amount of supplies that can be brought in, which can make things a bit difficult. And I'm not sure what to do about this area, because building new supply depot hubs from scratch takes a lot of effort, but I mean, right here, it's going to take like a third of a year. But I wonder if we connect this one to the railway network. Or at least if we connect it to here. Then that might help a little bit. We'll fix the Pegasus divisions a little bit. I wasn't going to do this because I think it's kind of unnecessary, but it says it gives us a slight research bonus for industry. And since we have the political power with little else to spend it on right now, we might as well do it. Oh, these guys, okay, they don't have much supply, so their training is going to be limited. All of these guys are finished. I think I'll move them out of the training division for now. Where are they? Okay. We could assign them to the... We'll just do that. No, wait, not armored, not armored. Okay. We're using Royal Guards as our miscellaneous division for now, but once we get more generals, we can start making even more army groups. And we just finished the decryption thing, so it's cut our time down to 208 days, but we can do more. Hopefully it'll be down to 100. Become Spy Master. Oh yeah. I think we'll go ahead and do that. And we get another operative slot, which is nice. Oh wait, I think I would call these guys instead of the other one, did I? I don't know. Well, all these ships are fully trained and some of them are damaged, so I'm just going to bring them back into port. Wait a minute, what happened to all my factories? Because I had enough factories to build everything at one point in time. And now it just stopped. And I don't know why. Rainbow Falls Resort, which builds factories, and then Industrialized Crystal Empire, which builds factories. Who did take them down? I don't know. Because I haven't lost territory, which is usually how you lose factories. There were some events earlier that got rid of factories, but I haven't had any of those since. I'm really not sure what happened. But I can build more. Anyway, Industrialized Crystal Empire. While the Crystal Ponies to our north are faithful allies of ours, their nation is not yet very developed. I mean, they are very, very weak at the beginning of the game. We must support them in industrializing their nation. This could be a very wise decision for the days to come. I don't think we're anywhere near being able to get here. No, we're not. We could raise the conscription level, which might be a good idea. Although I think there are actually some decisions that allow for that later on. So I'm not sure how much we should go. Now, who took those factories down? It's always possible there might be sabotage involved. Lax military effort. Hmm. Other useless wars in other continents. Oh, right. We have 2 spies that are available. We could probably send them on another operation. I'll have them infiltrate the army this time, which could give us valuable military intelligence. We've also unlocked a new slot. We'll just... Natural order. I guess this white guy will do. Building another generation of submarines could be useful. And it looks like we have enough Navy experience to actually do that. Okay. I guess these guys ended up winning that civil war, and now they're going after these guys. Maybe I could do a Riverlands game later on. That would probably be interesting, I suppose. But that's going to be for another time. And the Riverlands game would actually be a lot faster because they're smaller countries, so we don't have to do so much micromanagement. I wonder if it would be useful just to appoint a uniform designer just because we have a bunch of surplus points that we can't spend on that much else. Most of these require us to do research. Military training, finally. I'll just take it for the points. I guess I could do these things, but I'd rather use the civilian factories for building stuff. Trade with Skyfall, which is usually a good idea if it's available to you. She got when come to close. Yeah, she does. Well, it looks like we're having really big issues because we have like a bunch of people in this area and our infrastructure is not good enough. Skyfall accepts. Stonks. They had a couple of extra economy buffs. And all you have to do to be able to trade with Skyfall is just have a coastline and not be communist. So if you got those 2 things done, then you're pretty much set. Although I think there's a finite number of countries that can trade with them, so you have to get in early. Raise this barn is finished. Well, it's a new year, so we've unlocked some of these things. I like the support weapons thing because they're very good for defense, which is what we're going to have to do at some point. I'm going to put more howitzers on the market because why not? And maybe more guns too. In fact, we probably don't need this many factories building guns. Especially if it's coming at the cost of... Because we have a lot already, and if it's coming at the cost of these other things like planes and tanks, that's not really something we can afford right now. I think I'll save my factories for now because we have shit to build. Okay, I think it helped a little bit, but... Okay, we're finished with Marines. Yeah, we finished building Marines. And I think we have enough experience to actually do it. Oh, but we don't have the Special Forces cap. So we have to build more divisions to be able to build Special Forces. And the reason we don't have the Special Forces capacity is because the Pegasi units are considered to be Special Forces by the game, because they're basically just like beefed up paratroopers. I don't think I need this guy on the border anymore. So I will move him... Well, here, I guess. Okay, so we industrialized the Crystal Empire. Now we get to build the resort. We should expand the Rainbow Falls Resort and make it available not just for the elite of the Crystal Empire, but for common ponies too. A good word travels quicker than the Pegasus wings, which means ponies will be desiring in droves to see the famed landmark for themselves. Proper tourism is a net benefit for every pony. And that is true. Oh, Pegasi weather manipulation is useful. Pegasi are able to clear the skies, allowing our air forces to fly even in bad conditions, which can be really useful right now. Trying to find an example of bad weather conditions going on. Oh, here we go. Snowing. Yeah, so weather can kind of affect things. Show of Terror declared war on the Republic of Tobuk. Well, as I explained in the first part, Like, if Nightmare Moon doesn't show up, then they just start conquering their neighbors. But our bat ponies won't do that because we went all out of our way to integrate them into our society. So oh shit, it's 9 o'clock already. Well, I guess I lied to you because I didn't expect it was going to be this long until they actually did something. I'll have to change the description on the stream after I end it. Because I didn't realize Chrysalis was just going to spend all of her time building stuff. I mean, that's what I would do if I were her, but I'm not her. Like, the AI is her. But I think this year is when they're supposed to actually start doing things. What should I do now? Studies and range extension. I thought there was another one. Survivability studies, but that's a year ahead of us. Armor-piercing bombs. Well, I guess it would be useful. Upgrade the dockyards. Raiding capital ship. Raiding submarines. Okay, that would be useful. Speaking of submarines, they probably have a couple more ready. Oh, and we finally have the first mine layers ready for, well, mine laying. I mean, you can't actually lay mines in the game. They don't allow you to lay mines unless you're at war, but having the ships ready to go in the event of a war is useful. It's been 2 hours. Well, that's exactly what I said. What do I need these guys? My goal is to try to get to when the war starts, and then maybe I'll play like a few minutes of it, but I won't get very deep into it. Just get to the point where the war begins so that the stuff I said about the war actually starting won't be a total misstatement. 3 escorts. High-speed mine hunting equipment. I don't think mine sweeping is really necessary just yet, but the sub-detection bonus is nice. So I will do that. And now it says that the gem class minesweeper is out of date, even though I just designed it not too long ago. Universities in the Crystal City Center. Scholars and students of the Crystal Empire have to travel to Equestria to study and innovate in our universities and pay out-of-state tuition. We should help the Crystal Empire establish prestigious universities of their own. The Crystal City Center shall see new centers of higher education built and open for the greatest thinkers of the Crystal Empire. And it gives them a research slot, which is nice. Because I think they only have like 2 or 3. I can't tell from here, but they don't have that many slots, and neither do we, but... Oh, another purchase request. Well, it looks like we have enough factories right now. Although I think I would like a little more. Need more airplanes. And it looks like the Penguins lost the war that they started, just so that I predicted. Okay, the Changelings cipher has just been completed. Well, good job. Our investments in cryptology have paid off. Now, deciphering their cipher gives us, we can use a 30-day bonus against them. But the bonus can be, we can keep the bonus until we decide to use it. So, I mean, and then once we use it, they realize that we deciphered their cipher, so they invent a different cipher, so we have to do the process all over again. But we have a bonus we can use against them. And, I mean, our cryptology resources are still there, so in the meantime, while we're waiting for them to start the war, we can start going after these guys. Cryptologically, I mean. And it looks like the army has been infiltrated. Now we get to infiltrate their navy. Main, what's his face? Transport plane. I guess we've begun building those, but damage control might be a good idea. Oh, that's 200 days. Fire control, magnetic detonator. This. I'll do this. It makes the mines more effective. Okay, there we go. We now have slightly better minesweepers available, so we'll start building them as soon as we can. $659 days. 4,549 days. Hmm. This is really helpful because it allows you to build refineries which let you synthesize oil and rubber, so you can get more than you otherwise would be able to if you don't have those things already within your territory. We're almost at these things, but we're not going to go there just yet. Improved infantry equipment would probably be a good idea. Strike at Sombra's supporters. The return of Sombra cannot be allowed to happen, not with our current situation. Against such a foe, no squad of soldiers can hope to prevail. Therefore, we must do our best to make sure he does not return in the first place. We shall send in advisors and agents into the Crystal Empire, so that they can help the Crystal government with tracking down any pony involved with the Dark King. There, 70 days and this thing will be gone. I mean, the game does allow you to play as the Crystal Empire and make Sombra come back and then try to take over Equestria again. And I suppose if people want me to, I could do that on a different game, but unknown focus. Are they going to go down this until... I don't think they usually do that, but they're kind of a black box. Because I think at least with Alicorn Sunset, it's kind of obvious when they're beginning to invade Equestria, but I can't really tell when they're going to go after the deer until they actually do. Because they... Okay. They did this, which gave them an event. And so it tells you that this happened. But then they haven't done this yet. And that's what we're waiting for them to actually do. I mean, EAW games usually aren't this boring, but The stuff we're waiting for is just kind of taking its time. And I know I'm not the most entertaining host either. There was one that had like they're taking their sweet time on this. Indeed, they are. I mean, they're usually supposed to invade by now, but I guess they aren't. Wait, I thought this was supposed to go away. Oh, okay, now it did. So it looks like the Crystal Empire is in a much better position than it was before. Now we get to work on ourselves. So we can't do this, which lets us beef up our military. We can't do this, which lets us build forts. Star energy might be the best idea because it would unlock Spitfire research. I don't know if we really need all those factories, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt to start building anti-tank guns now. And, maybe some heavy bombers if we can do that. I don't think we can. Maybe we'll design one really quick. Wait a minute. Do we have a dedicated naval bomber? I don't know if we do. Spitfire Supermarine. This is not the most useful UI, and I kind of wish they would allow you to sort things better here, but they don't. The Vickers Paris Sprite, but I don't know if we're building any. Okay, so we're going to need to start building some right away. And this is why we need aluminum, because we're going to start needing to build these. Oh, look. We have a deficit right now. Well, thankfully, we have an ally who has a bunch of it. Rapid fire. Oh, look. Our spies are ready, so maybe we can do a little bit more. We can infiltrate the Air Force this time. Pretty soon, everything will be infiltrated. It's like we're better at being changelings than the changelings themselves. And it looks like we have the points to add a maintenance company as well. And yeah, I guess we'll just do that for now. Field hospital might be useful, but how much pony power? 500 per division. Doesn't require that many trucks. Well, let's save the game so that if they launch a sneak attack while we're upgrading our divisions, then we could restart. But I think I'm going to build yet another division template. Where we get to add field hospitals. A mage company, I'm not sure if it would be worth it right now. It doesn't look like it's that much of a bonus. And of course, we have to use another of these. It's a lot of icons available for us. I'll just use the hoof for now. I wonder if the EAW devs kind of, I mean, sometimes the EAW devs will make upgrades to the AI that kind of determines what the computer-controlled countries will do in this game. And I'm wondering if maybe the EAW devs programmed something so that allying Alania early in the game as Equestria will make the Changelings a little bit more cautious. That instead of declaring war immediately, they realize, oh shit, we have an enormous border to defend. And so they just spend all the time doing that. Because they don't have very many divisions. Well, I mean, they have a lot now, but not nearly enough to actually be able to attack us. You know what? It's almost 10 o'clock. I think I'll go to bed. I'm sorry, but like, I'm the only night owl in this house, so. Sorry, but I think I'll have to end the stream. Next time, though, I'll be certain. Maybe potentially start a little bit earlier than I did this time, but yeah, I'll see you then. I'm not sure what day exactly it will be, but at some point next week, I'll post more details when I have information, but good night.